Hello historians and welcome back! Today we'll be exploring the level 10 to 20 dwarf area of Loch Modan. After the rather lackluster opening area of Dunmorrow, I am hopeful Loch Modan can provide a little more story than we make beer here and also trogs. Let's begin! Heading into Thelsamar, we can start our mini tour with the Stout Lager Inn. The innkeeper is just inside the building. Up on the landing is a tradesman who sells a cooking recipe for smoked bear meat. There's a general supplies vendor by the fireplace. Behind the bar is Vidra Hearthstove. She tells us there's never a shortage of hungry people in Thelsamar, and the inn is famous for its blood sausages. If we would like to try some, we need to work for our meal. She needs bear meat, boar intestines for casings, and spider ichor for seasonings. She'll cook us a batch of sausages and give us the recipe. In the back kitchen is a baker. There wasn't anything in the inn rooms. Across the road in the first leftmost house is a metalsmith selling mail armor. His house was empty. In the road, we can talk to Mountaineer Cadrell again. There is an infestation problem to the west. Tunnel rat kobolds have moved into the foothills. He would like them eliminated and wants ears as proof for the bounty. So close to adding to the headcount. The kobolds are all over the western mountainside. Mountaineer Stormpike is looking for a runner and someone who wouldn't mind traveling. If we are interested in the job, we can find him at the Northern Guard Tower. Mountaineer Rockgar is looking for volunteers for a mission through Dunalgaz into the Wetlands. If you would like to move on into the Wetlands, we can talk to Rockgar in front of the Northern Tunnel into Wetlands. We can talk to Magistrate Bluntnose up on the hill. It took Ironforge 2 months to send word that a handful of soldiers will be spared to defend Thelsamar, and it'll be another 2 months before they arrive. It's bad enough that the town is unprotected, but the excavation site and the dam are wide open to attack. He has no choice but to hire some mercenaries. If we are up to it, a group of ogres has set up camp to the northeast of the lake, and he would like us to remove this threat. Following the road up the hill, we find another house with a gunsmith outside. Back down the hill, the next house has a tailoring supplies vendor outside with some limited sales patterns. Next to the inn is a herbalism trainer in front of another small house with an alchemy trainer inside. Outside the last house is a wanted poster. By order of the magistrate, Chalk Soul, the ogre responsible for attacks on Thelsamar, the dam, and the excavation site, is wanted dead by any means necessary. Reward will be provided with proof of death brought to the magistrate. Chalk Soul was last seen in the northeast in Loch Modan. Finally, after 2 whole areas, we were asked to collect a head. Another tally for the head count. Inside the house with the wanted poster, we can find the Explorers League with a mining trainer and a mining supplies vendor. Jern Hornhelm tells us that Prospector Ironbrand is heading an excavation site of ancient ruins to the east of the lake. Progress has been slow, especially with all the supplies sent to him. Ironbrand is an honest dwarf who values results, which has Jern worried that something might be working against him. We need to go to the excavation and talk to Magmar Felhue. He manages the site and will know why progress is slow. If we follow the road out of town to the northeast, we can find a dock at the lakeshore with another house. Outside is the fishing trainer, who tells us to learn more we need to talk to Old Man Hemming in Booty Bay for a skill book titled The Bass and You. It'll be a while before I can increase fishing then. Nearby is a fishing supplies vendor with another cooking recipe, Loch Frenzy Delight. We can now begin all the quests on the west side of the loch. We start with the wildlife, since most of the west side is covered with animals that can drop what we want. I get the boar intestines first. Then, my friend got an extra bear meat, so they traded the one I needed to me. Since we are nearby the kobolds, we start collecting ears. We wipe out the mine, and since we didn't get enough ears, we head west to hand in a couple quests. We can talk to Mountaineer Rockgar in front of the Northern Tunnel, who tells us we need to check our gear as the scouting mission has turned into something a bit more dangerous. Orcs of the Dragonmud clan have expanded into Dunalgaz. We can't let them keep this foothold, or Loch Modan will be cut off from Menethil Harbor. Kill orcs on our way through Dunalgaz and report to Valstag Ironjai in the harbor. Since this requires a bit of action in the wetlands, we will do this one next episode. We can head a bit south to Algaz Station, which has an armorer on the first floor. At the top of the stairs, we can talk to Mountaineer Stormpike. He has a task for us that will take us far from Loch Modan. But first, he tells us that Silverstream mine to the east ran dry long ago and was converted into a storage depot by the Miners' League. Kobolds have moved in, taking the goods inside. The kobolds will be dealt with in due time, but the Miners' League wants their supplies taken out before warriors tromp in and start breaking everything. We can find crates all throughout the mine. There is a dwarven armorsmith that Stormpike admires. His name is Furin Longbeard, and his skill is unmatched. Stormpike needs a new shield, and he wants Furin to craft it. However, Furin lives in Stormwind. The humans must pay handsomely to keep him there. If we don't mind traveling and making a little money, we can take his request to Furin. I take a look and we can read his request. It includes praise for the skill of Longbeard and the specification of what he would like his shield to be. It includes a lot of silver, oak wood, and his name, Gringear Stormpike, etched on the top rim. It also includes adding our delivery fee to the final cost. How nice! Back to the Cobalt Cave, we start collecting miner's gear and more ears. We end up finishing the miner's gear first at the back of the cave, then get the last of the ears in the kobold camps outside. Since it's nearby, we check out the Stonewright Dam. On the west side is a mace crafter, who sells maces if you can believe it. Close to the center, we can find an engineering trainer, and Chief Engineer Hinderweir VII. He's glad someone has come to care about the dam. After the destruction of the Thandal Span and pillaging of Dun Modan in Wetlands by the Dark Iron Dwarves, he's convinced that the dam is the next target. Most of the security was reassigned to the Alliance front. He needs us to check the eastern ramp as he spot Dark Iron Dwarves milling about there. We head over, find some Dark Iron Dwarves, take them out, and spot a suspicious barrel by the base of the ramp. This barrel contains strange-smelling powder. We take a sample to bring back to Hinderweir. We give him the sample and he is alarmed at this discovery. If his suspicions are correct, this is explosive powder. It needs to be analyzed by an expert. Ashland Stonesmirk was assigned to Dun Modan, and he needs us to journey there to get him to inspect the powder. We can do this next episode as well. Back to Stormpike, we can give him the miner's gear. He asks if there was a lot of kobolds, and he can't wait for the ore to finally clear them out. We head south along the mountain range and get the spider ichor we need for the sausages. Back to Thelsamar we go. We can give Vidra the ingredients, and she makes some sausages. Just in case, she gives us the recipe if we want to know more. We can give Mountaineer Cadrell the ears he asked for, and he's surprised on just how bad they smell. I guess he's never asked for proof of death before. This gets us to Revered with Ironforge, which is great since it will make the ruins of teleportation cheaper. We head south to the Valley of Kings, where I curiously check out the tunnel to Searing Gorge. They have the tunnel locked with a gate, which is sensible, with Mountaineer Pebblebiddy standing guard. We talk to her and she is most definitely not going to let us into Searing Gorge. It's impossible, no matter how many times we ask. If she lets us in, then just let everybody in. Then our friends will want in, then our relatives, then the relatives' friends, and so on. We don't talk about the last time this happened. Good on Blizzard for not letting level 10 dwarves accidentally wander into a level 50 zone. We can head into the Dwarven Fort nearby and talk to Captain Rugelfuzz. With the Ironforge Reserve called away to the Alliance front, there is only a fraction of defense forces left to keep the land safe. His regiment is tasked with watching over the gate here and cannot leave their posts. They cannot leave the Trogs unattended, however. If we're up to the task, we should assault the Trogs and bring back 8 of their teeth as proof. Outside the fort, we can talk to Mountaineer Cobbleflint. He's worried about the Trogs overwhelming them with the bulk of the forces being away. They are the largest threat to Ironforge and need to be destroyed. We need to venture forth and lay waste to the Trogs and scouts, then report back. We head up into the hills and begin the slaughter. We finish killing the Trogs first, then finish off the scouts before heading to gather up the 8 teeth. Back to Cobbleflint, he says we demonstrated uncanny courage on the battlefield. The war against the Trogs can be won with efforts such as ours. If we feel like we are well suited to Trog extermination, we can talk to Mountaineer Gravelgaw inside the fort as he has a rough patrol assigned to him. Gravelgaw is standing at the entrance of the hut, not so much inside it. He is going to entrust us with a mission of importance based on Cobbleflint's impression of us. We need to keep pressuring the Trogs until the reserves return. To fulfill that endeavor, we need to return to the hills and take out Skull Thumpers and Seers to buy the dwarves more time. Back up to Rugelfuzz, we give him the teeth we collected. He is quite impressed, and we've done a great favor by defending the lands. Even the king would be proud. Back up into the hills, even deeper in this time, and we take out the Seers first, then find the last Skull Thumpers. Another run back to Gravelgaw, he tells us that the reinforcements never arrived. The Alliance front isn't doing too well. The news of so many losses leaves a bitter taste, but we can't let those deaths go for naught. We can talk to Mountaineer Wallbang for reassignment as our help is needed more now than ever. We can find Wallbang on the first floor of the fort. The Trog problem isn't getting any better. They are low on manpower and all alone at this fort. Since we are here, let's see what we can do. More Trogs in Shamans and Bone Snappers need to be purged if we wish to keep our reputation as Trog Slayer. Back up into the hills we go, into a cave this time, and only the back half has the Trogs we're looking for. These share a respawn location, so if you run out of one, kill everything to maximize the chances of the one you're looking for to come back. We take out all of the Bone Snappers we need, then wait for a few respawns for the 10 Shamans. Back to Wallbang, he tells us he knew we would make Ironforge proud and prove ourselves loyal aides to the kingdom. We should talk to the captain to see if he will entrust us with a higher priority task. Back up to Rugelfus, he tells us that scouts have identified the leader of the Trogs. He is named Gromug, and he is heavily guarded by 2 Trogs, Nasher and Brawler, who are at his sides at all times. We need to take out all 3 of them. With the leadership dead, the dwarves might finally push back the Trog incursion. Back up into the cave, Gromug spawns in a little alcove in the right pathway. We didn't notice at first, but Nasher was missing for some reason. We killed Gromug and Brawler, but have to wait for them to respawn to get the last guard. One last trip to Rugelfus and we can let him know we killed the leader. We have brought hope to Loch Modan. Now they stand a better chance to eliminate the Trogs from the land. On the way back to Thelsamar, we find a traveling merchant on the road. He just sells some bread. We can head to the eastern side of the loch now and head into the excavation camp. Magmar Felhue greets us and lets us know that Ironbrand is putting together a progress report, but the gist of it is, there be Trogs. Surprise, surprise. Before the Trogs surfaced in the site, they had uncovered a large number of strange carved idols. Soon after the discovery, the Trogs chased them away from the ruins before they had the chance to study them. The idols are also making the Trogs go berserk. They should collect the idols for Magmar to study, and we can find them in the hands of the Trogs. By the other tent is a cloth armor vendor who sells some limited items. Across the camp is Prospector Ironband next to a canopy tent. He needs his progress report sent to Thelsamar. With it is a restatement of request for more blast powder. We need to take it to Jern Hornhelm. Let's take a little peek at this report. Progress has been slowed by the Trogs. They can be dealt with even if they are getting more aggressive. There have been more artifacts found, and recent findings have been interesting, if not enlightening. The peculiar carved idols seem to be affecting the Trogs. They are drawn to them, and some go berserk. More study is required, but there is hope that the idol will shed some light on the link between Trogs and the Titans. He also mentions his order of blast powder never arrived, and he needs more as supply is low. What could be causing the delay? We begin the 5th Trogmageddon on the ruins, which distinctly looks like it's from the Titans this time. It's that tarnished brass color. After about 15 minutes of doing loops through the ruins, my mining skill was thankful, we finally get 8 idols off the Trogs. We give the idols to Magmar, who is excited to have them. He's impressed we don't look too worse for wear, even going against the berserk Trogs. We show some promise. Following the coast of the loch north, we can find a downed airplane and Bingle's Blastenheimer. He wonders why Noirn doesn't trust his reconnaissance abilities, but that doesn't matter right now. He needs our immediate assistance. Crashing into the loch wasn't bad enough. Trogs from a nearby island attacked him and stole his tools and explosives. With no gyrocopter and no tools, he's got no chance. We need to find his tools and explosive, as it is apparently imperative for helping Nomargon. We head east into the hills and up into the Farstrider Lodge. This is a High Elf Ranger Lodge. Just north through the door is a Bower and a gunsmith. A little further in is a general goods vendor selling alchemy recipes. In the right arm is a pet trainer and a hunter trainer. At the end is Marek Ironheart. Many people are attracted to the loch to hunt the crocolisks. Merchants always want the skins for clothing or armor, and some enjoy the meat. The crocolisks have entrenched themselves on the islands of the loch, but don't let that dissuade us from wrestling with a few for profit. Back to the center is a leather armor merchant, selling some limited shoes. At the back of the left arm is Daryl the Youngling. He calls himself Daryl the Bold, and issues a challenge to us to prove our hunting abilities against his own. We shouldn't feel too bad if we can't fulfill it. Buzzards have nested in the loch, so why not hunt down some? If he can kill 6 in 15 minutes, he'll give us his own bow or gun. He looks us over dismissively and says we don't have much to lose anyway. What an arrogant prick. Let's bring this overconfident youngling down a peg, shall we? We run south to find some birds, take out 6 of them, and run back to the lodge well under the time limit. Daryl is surprised we succeeded, but tries to play off like the buzzards are easy prey. He fumbles for a bit, trying to keep his pride uninjured before coughing up a weapon as per our agreement. I can't even use it, but I'm going to take it and sell it to that armor vendor nearby just to piss him off. He can buy it back with all of his hunting money. Daryl decides to challenge us again, this time with boar hunting. This will be more difficult than the boars in Coldridge, and he's only giving us 12 minutes this time. He'll give us his shirt and sword this time if we succeed. He must be very confident we can't do it. We head north this time, taking out the 5 boars, then head back with plenty of time left. We apparently look a little ragged, and he assumes we didn't make it, even though we've only been gone for like 5 minutes. He goes on a long rant about not telling anyone about our failure. We quickly correct him, and he's not too pleased. He tries to renege on the bet, but we get our dues from him. Daryl wisely stops while he's only missing most of his weapons. Viren is curious if he'd like a little payback against Daryl. He does have some skill, so his confidence is warranted, if not his arrogance. A year ago, the Lodge hunted a large bear, but none of them could take him down. Daryl tried his hand at him, but all he got was a scar over his eye for his trouble. If we can kill the bear, we can really bring Daryl down a peg. The bear, Old Sooty, can be found south of Thelsamar. We head north to the Ogre Camp and work our way into the northeast cave. Making our way into the back, we finish killing the brutes. In the very back is Choxol, the leader with the bounty, and we accidentally pull him. I go down, but my friend manages to just survive and pick me back up. Another reminder on why we don't play hardcore. I grab the head, which increases the counter to 33, and head back out of the cave. In the main area, we kill the 4 enforcers and the 4 ogres, finishing the kill quest. We head to the northern island to collect the stolen tools. They are all over the island in various trog camps, so after clearing them out, we pick up the Blastin' Capper, the hammer, the screwdriver, and the wrench. We start heading south, taking out Crocolisks on the second island before making it back to Bingles. Handing over his tools, he thanks us for the help. The Trogs and the Leopard Gnomes in Gnomeregan will soon feel a gnomish air assault. In an underground city. I don't think the gnomes have thought this through enough. We head to the southern Crocolisk Island and finish getting the 5 meat and the 6 skins. Heading west from here, we can climb up the hillside and find Old Sooty. We take out the large black bear, snag his head, counter 34, and decide to head into Thelsamar to deliver that letter we've had for a while. We give the progress report to Jern, and he's irritated about the Trog situation. He wonders if the site wants blast power to dig, or for the Trogs at this point. What's strange is that they sent powder weeks ago, so where did it go? We will need approval for more blast powder. We need to take the report to the Explorers League in Ironforge and give it to Prospector Stormpike. He'll probably be irritated at the delays. We can talk to Magistrate Bluntnose and let him know we took out the Ogre Camp. He thanks us since, if the ogres are no longer a problem, they can focus on the Trogs. We give him the head of Choxol, and at first he questions why we brought him an ogre head. Once he catches on, he quickly gives us our reward and thanks us on behalf of Thelsamar. This was a nice upgrade as well. We head to Ironforge and talk to Stormpike in the library. Not another grouchy personality. You know you can stand to be a bit more personable if people are doing you favors for you. We give him the report and he's not happy about the blast powder situation. Stormpike approves more blast powder and sent a runner ahead to Jern so he'll prepare the powder and supplies for Ironbrand. He wants us to personally make sure this powder reaches the excavation, so keep our eyes peeled for trouble. We get back to Jern and he tells us that the caravan had just left without us as Stormpike made no mention of us going with it. Huldar is leading the caravan, with Miran and Sayen as porters. They can't have made it far yet laden down with barrels, so we can run after them south of town following the loch. As we approach the wagon, we can see they are being attacked by Dark Iron Dwarves, as well as Sayen, one of the porters. We rescue Miran and Huldar, then talk to Huldar. It'll take more than Dark Iron Dwarfs to stop them, but they never knew Sayen was a sympathizer. He's been working for them for over a year already. Down a porter, we will need to escort Miran to the dig site with his powder, while Huldar guards the wagon. Our job is to make sure Miran makes it in one piece, just in case there are other ambushes waiting. We check in with Miran, who just needs a few more final checks before getting ready to go. Who knows what the Dark Iron has in store for us ahead. Miran will have to move slow with his load, and will be unable to give us a hand if the Dark Iron tries something, but we need to get this to Ironband. Sounds like a classic escort for sure. We slowly walk to the excavation, taking out a few spiders and one Dark Iron ambush before finally delivering Ironband his blast powder. Ironband is thankful that the powder finally arrived, but the news is troubling with it, as sympathizers have been able to pilfer such supplies. I suppose that's where the suspicious barrel at the dam came from? Ironband is ready to put the powder to good use. We can bring Marek the Crocolisk parts in the lodge. He tells us about the time he almost lost a hand to a croc. He managed to jam the brute's jaw shut with a knife. He still has the knife around here somewhere. He's impressed with the quality of the parts we brought back. They'll be worth a lot of money. This quest gets us revered with Gnomeregan, halfway to getting a Mechanostrider. We talk to Daryl and he can't help but get one last dig at us, so I feel less guilty about tossing a trauma-inducing bear head at him. Perhaps a reminder of one of his not-so-successful hunts will reel back that arrogance a bit. He shoos us away, not too happy with our new trophy. We can give the head to Vryn, who's gleeful about knocking Daryl down a peg. She'll take care of the head. It's been months since she's been trying to get back at Daryl, and we've done a fine job of it. I suppose the lesson of the day is, if you don't want to be trauma-triggered by your coworkers, don't be an asshole. That concludes Loch Modan. This area was a shorter one, but we got the first hints of the Dark Iron Dwarves getting into shenanigans around here, as well as just how widespread the Trogs have gotten. We can head north into the wetlands to take out some orcs starting in the next video. Thank you so much for watching my video. Please like and subscribe if you'd like to see more of these videos every 2 weeks on Sunday. We finally have a bit of a story to follow now with the Dark Iron Dwarf sabotaging the caravans in the dam. I thought the Horde had quests in Wetlands, but I looked it up and nope, only Alliance quests here. So we can finish the last dwarf area before finally moving on to the long-awaited human areas and the story awaiting us there. See you all next time.